Hey guys, Metal Jesus here, and I have another Patreon question. This one comes from Games, Gear, and Gadgets, and they ask, are there any games that you really wanted to come out in the United States, but remain exclusive to Japan or Europe? So to help me answer this question, I have assembled the Metal Jesus crew, and let's start with Reggie.
Whoa, what are you doing in here? I guess I should go ahead and answer that question real fast. The only game that I wish came out to America from Japan is actually a game called The Adventures of Little Ralph, a game we talked about before on the channel. Great side-scrolling platform game. Unfortunately, it's not in English, so I don't know what the story is, so I had to make up my own. But still, if it came to America, it would have been a lot more popular than it is right now. I like the game so much, he even got pixel art made for it. So anyways, I'm about to eat my favorite cereal, and no, you can't have none.
Some games that I really wish came to the US was, well, first, of course, Sailor Moon. Any of the Sailor Moons would have been fantastic. Growing up, I absolutely loved the show and the manga. I couldn't get enough of it. So if it also had a video game, that would have been the best. And one even came out on the Game Gear. And I loved the Game Gear growing up. And then another choice is Mario and Wario. It's a really quirky puzzle platformer game where you guide Mario, who has a bucket on his head, because Wario's a dick. But it's really fun and it uses the mouse. Hardly anything uses the mouse. We should have gotten this game, it's so fun. And then lastly, of course, Wonder Project J would have been awesome to come to the US. And same with the Twin Bee RPG. That would have been great too. Actually, this list could go on forever. There's so many awesome games that never actually made it to the US.
So, as you can probably imagine, I have a lot of answers to this question, but I will try to keep it short. One of the things I really wish that was brought over here was the Sega 3D Fukoku Archive, which are these 3DS collections of Sega Master System, Genesis, Game Gear games. We got one of them in the States. It's this one right here, which was the second one that they released in Japan, but it's a series of 3 of them. So we're missing out on 25 different games. So things like Afterburner 2 and Thunder Force 3 and Gunstar Heroes, really, really good games that you have to get a Japanese 3DS if you want to play because they're region locked. The other thing I wish was brought over here, it's a lot of things, are a bunch of the Tales games that we're missing in the States. So Tales of Innocence on the DS, Tales of Rebirth on the PS2, these were never brought over here. There's also a bunch of these Tales of Fandom games, which are games that include characters from a bunch of the old games. Seems like something I would really enjoy since I've played just about all of them, but yeah, we didn't really get any of those, unfortunately. So those are my answers.
Immortal John Hancock here. The one game that I wish we got in the States and we never did. Ooh! Phantasy Star Online 2. And this was announced for the Vita, for PlayStation 4, and I saw screenshots of it, and I was super excited. I was a huge Phantasy Star Online fan for the Dreamcast. Oh gosh, and even the GameCube, played that one to death. Was super excited. Sega spent years making this game, and they announced it, and then they announced that they're working on it to be released in North America, and nothing. Oh, they never released it. I was super mad, and still waiting. Come on, Sega. I'd still play it. I mean, I know there's a patch to still play it, but it wasn't released outside of Asia, so it was just super bummed that Phantasy Star Online 2 was not released. Wah wah.
I have Kilo here, stretching, helping me answer this question. There definitely is a game that I wish came to the United States, but was only exclusive to Japan, and that would be Police Nuts for the Sega Saturn. He knows what I'm talking about. He's upset too. I have that game and I wish I could play it, but I need to know what's being said in the dialogue. And I know that an unofficial patch was released that has an English translation, which I haven't figured it out, but I still wish we would have gotten a full US release. Maybe we'll see it announced at E3 in the future and wait 10 years for it to be out, but that would be my answer and Kilo's answer as well.
All right, John Riggs here. The game that I would love to see that didn't come out in America, it's for the Famicom Disk System game, so it would have to be ported to something else, but it is this. They made a Milo and Otis game for the Famicom Disk System. Now, Milo and Otis came out in Japan under some other name. They just redubbed it, brought it out in America, and they made a terrible, terrible, terrible game for the Famicom Disk System. However, it's Milo and Otis, and it's super cute. That's my pick.
Hi. So there's this game that only came out in the PAL region for the PlayStation 2. Kind of like this shirt I'm wearing that's supposed to be XXL, but that's another story. It's called Seven Sins, and let me tell you, it's adult themed. It's not for children. Basically, it's a sick, twisted Sims clone that was way too crazy for us Yanks over here. Now, I've never played the game, but it looks really fun. Looks pretty gross and weird, which is what I'm into. And I don't have it yet, so if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna rip this tight shirt off of my well-chiseled body and go play the guy game.
Yeah, dude, what's up? Yeah, well, a little. I'm armpit deep in your Ferrari. What games that were only released in Japan and Europe would I like to see released to the US? Oh, that's easy. It's got to be Sierra's Front Page Sports, Sumo Pro, and Trophy Wife. Yeah, you remember those? Yeah, we beta tested them, but they weren't released in the US. Yeah, Sumo Pro is a lot of fun. Got to do all the moves. And yeah, Akimono was on the cover. Yeah. Trophy Wife was a kick in the ass, though. Yeah, I mean, you lost half your shit the moment you started playing, but yeah, that first hour of that was worth it. Yeah, big spoon. Right, later, dude.
I'm sure that many of you are aware that the Xbox 360 did not do very well in Japan, yet they got a bunch of exclusive arcade shooters over there that we never got. And even better, they got them in physical form, and I'm so jealous. And so, a couple games that I would love to get over here. The first one is the sequel to Death Smiles. Now, we got the original here, but they actually got the official sequel. And what's cool about this shooter is that it's a cave game, but it's the first time Cave ever made a game with polygons, and so that makes it kind of special. The other game I would love to get is, I think it's pronounced Moochie Moochie Pork. So this is an arcade shooter, also by Cave, but it is so fun to play. I actually have it on my arcade machine here, but they got the Xbox 360 version with better graphics, and again, in physical release, physical form. Now, the sucky thing is that these versions of the game are super expensive online. Like, we're talking $100, $150, $200, depending on if you get the complete collector's edition of them. Oh my goodness. I mean, I just look at those online and I drool. So that would be very cool to get one day in my collection. Such a great question. Love to know what you guys think down in the comments below. What are the import games that never came out in your country that you have always been lusting for? Great question, man. Thanks. This question was asked by one of my Patreon contributors who helps support my YouTube channel and help shape the content of my videos. In addition to asking questions like this, they also get access to a private chat, an audio podcast, and early access to most of my Friday videos. You can also set the amount you want to contribute, and you can leave or change it at any time. If you'd like to help support my videos and become part of the Metal Militia, please go to patreon.com/MetalJesusRocks.